Ray Carr lived a wonderful life. He was a longtime resident here in Carson, Iowa. But it all started for him when he was born in 1919 on a farm west of Macedonia. Ray graduated from high school in Wells, Iowa. And you know, soon after graduating from high school, he made the decision to go and fight for this great country. He enlisted in the United States Army. And he served during World War II as he was one of our greatest generation. He toured a lot of countries while he was in the Army, but during combat, he was wounded twice, and Ray Carr received the Purple Heart. After returning home in 1946, he married Ruby in Macedonia. And the couple was blessed with 3 wonderful children. Ray farmed in the Carson area until his retirement in 1985, and he was the co-founder of this Carson Rodeo. He talked a lot to me from time to time about his time of being a rodeo pickup man. But you see, this arena that we stand in tonight is named after Ray Carr, the Carr Arena. He and Ruby were married almost 50 years, but when she passed away, a few years later, Ray married Betty. They spent the rest of their years right here in Carson, and their family grew with Betty's 3 children. Ray Carr had 8 grandchildren and 13 great-grandchildren. Ray Carr was the first man I ever met when I came here 17 years ago. I always enjoyed seeing Ray come around the corner when I got into Carson. I'll always cherish those memories. I thought an awful lot of that man. And I can tell you, so did this community. But Ray Carr will very much be missed. Tonight, our second riderless horse. It's in tribute of one of the other co-founders of this rodeo in Carson, Iowa, Norm Lewis. But tonight, the young man that leads that horse in is Norm Lewis's great-grandson, Emory Blaine Evans. And he leads his great-grandpa's horse in tribute to his great-grandfather. It's been said that Norm Lewis was a real American cowboy, and a couple of days ago, I talked to a couple of friends that knew Norm, and they said he was. Said the only thing missing on Norm Lewis was a holster and a 6-gun, and he would have been a cowboy right out of the 1800s. And I believe it. He was your first Carson Rodeo stock contractor. And in all the years of this rodeo, he only missed 3. And when I pulled in this year, there was something definitely missing. And it was Norm's trailer, because you see, he got here every year before I did. And he kind of overseed everybody's trailers, made sure everything was fine. But tonight, he oversees this rodeo from heaven. As we move to our third horse, in the summer of 1949, this gentleman was born. And it was said that Rod Bentley was a good-looking kid right from the very day he was born. And through his time in high school, college, Rod Bentley found that real quick that hard work would enable him to have the things that he wanted. And it did, because he purchased his very first farm in 1979, and then he continued to acquire land and beef cattle. He'd be real quick to tell you that he was considered himself a cattleman before a farmer. And that was what brought him to be a longtime proud member and a former president of the Pottawatomie County Cattlemen's Association. And then that led him to be down here every year since this rodeo's inception. and lend a hand wherever it was needed. Whether he was building fence, painting, bringing equipment to work with, but what I'll remember most is cooking steaks. He slaved over the hot grill every night, worked awfully hard in our hospitality tent. And he always did it in his signature wardrobe, a cut-off jeans and no shirt. He loved a good ribeye, a good game of cards, and a lemon-up day on the markets, and a nice cold can of Old Milwaukee. Yep, you can honestly say that Rod Bentney, he was a legend. Our fourth and final horse tonight belongs to a man that served this rodeo for 15 years as your vice president. You see, Sherm Roden was born on 1964 in Nebraska City, Nebraska. And after graduating from high school, he moved to Stephenville, Texas, where he got his bachelor's degree from Tarleton State University. He graduated in 1988, and soon after that, he married the love of his life, Shelley. He married her in Colleyville, Texas, and then a year later, they moved here to Carson, Iowa. That's when he began his career working as the ag teacher in this area, and he did that for 27 years, right up until the time he left us. He was a big, huge Nebraska Cornhuskers fan. He'd tell you that his friends would tailgate in Lot 20 and they'd use their season tickets to watch the game, and he called those tickets the best, worst seats in the house. They were up in Section 18 and Road 98. But his other love, maybe his biggest love, was the Carson Community PRCA Rodeo. And being a vice president for 15 years, he was down here every day till late at night, doing whatever needed to be done and working all year long to make sure this rodeo came off just perfect. I'll always remember the early morning drives to all the radio stations with Sherm and all the good things that we had to do. Over the years, Sherm created many memories, taking students to the Iowa State Fair and the National FFA Convention, but he made a lot of memories in this arena. And I also remember playing pranks on one of our bullfighters, Josh Ravinius, because you see, Josh was a big Notre Dame fan. So Sherm and I went make sure he had plenty of Nebraska Cornhusker stickers on his trailer, and Sherm and Shelley made sure he had sheets on his bed that said Nebraska Cornhuskers. Sherm Roden was a big part of this community and a big part of this rodeo, and he will be sorely missed. You know, folks, I can't tell you, I don't think anyone can, what happens when we pass from this earth. But I can tell you that I believe that these four gentlemen have passed through the gates of heaven and they've met their Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And tonight, here on our final night, I believe they look down on this community, these friends in this rodeo that they love so very much, and they smile. And I also believe tonight, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to raise your voice and give them a round of applause, they would be able to hear you tonight.